A secret relationship, a secret child, multiple infidelities, and a separation that shook the royal family to its core. Princess Margaret and Anthony Armstrong-Jones had an unconventional love story. Princess Margaret and Anthony Armstrong-Jones met in 1958 when they both attended the same dinner party, but Anthony had actually already been introduced to the royals when he was hired to take photographs of Queen Elizabeth in 1956. The Queen hired Anthony to take photos of Prince Charles for his 8th birthday, and she was reportedly so happy with the work that she invited the photographer to come back a year later to take photos of the entire family. Margaret and Anthony kept their relationship a secret at first. Margaret was still bruised after her ill-fated relationship with Captain Peter Townsend, who she had hoped to marry. According to Anne de Courcy's Snowdon, a biography, the initial attraction for Anthony was that Margaret was a member of the royal family, and the idea of dating her presented a unique and intoxicating challenge that he couldn't resist.
He is everything that sort of goes against royal protocol. He is extremely fun-loving, he is a bohemian.
The author also detailed what the early weeks of their courtship was like, and noted that they often met in secret at the photographer's studio. Anthony would also attend the same parties Margaret attended, but the two didn't make it clear that they were attracted to one another. In the biography, de Courcy wrote, "The press focused more on the ones who were seen to be eligible. They didn't think of Tony, who was often in the background." The story goes like this. Princess Margaret had an affair with Captain Peter Townsend, a married father of 2. She was told to end the relationship but didn't. Townsend ultimately divorced his wife, but Queen Elizabeth would not allow her sister to marry a divorced man. Fast forward 5 years and Margaret confessed to Conservative MP Jonathan Aitken that she had accepted a proposal from Anthony Armstrong-Jones the same night as she was informed Townsend was planning to marry someone else, according to the BBC. Margaret explained, "I received a letter from Peter in the morning, and that evening I decided to marry Tony. I didn't really want to marry at all. Why did I? Because he asked me. Really though, he was such a nice person in those days. In a way, he introduced me to a new world." Margaret and Anthony delayed announcing their engagement until after the Queen gave birth to her 3rd child, Prince Andrew. There have always been rumours that the pair were told they had to delay the announcement by the Queen herself, according to The Express.
I do hope there won't be any objections or obstacles this time.
When they did get married, Princess Margaret and Anthony Armstrong-Jones made history with the first ever televised royal wedding. More than 20 million people in the United Kingdom tuned in to watch on May 6, 1960. And royal family followers in the UK weren't the only ones. Another 300 million people watched from around the world, according to the BBC. Margaret and Anthony held their wedding at Westminster Abbey, where so many royal events of consequence have been held since. According to The Guardian, playwright Noel Coward, a mutual friend of the couple, reportedly wrote in his own journal, "He looks quite pretty, but whether or not the marriage is entirely suitable remains to be seen." Unfortunately, things between Margaret and Anthony weren't off to their best start after their wedding. The pair were on their honeymoon when the photographer's friends, Jeremy and Camilla Fry, welcomed a baby girl they named Polly. As shown on The Crown, the rumour stood that Armstrong-Jones had a 3-way relationship with both Frys and was the biological father of Polly, though he denied this claim at the time.
Tony, I'm pregnant.
Ultimately, a DNA test proved that Anthony did, in fact, father Polly Fry. Polly later opened up in an essay for the Daily Mail about finding out who her biological father was. She wrote, "Finding out at the age of 45 that the man I had idolised and put on a pedestal higher than Nelson's column since I was a small child was not in fact my father was a hard burden to bear." Margaret and Anthony had 2 children of their own, David and Sarah. The 20-year marriage of Princess Margaret and Anthony Armstrong-Jones was filled with a series of affairs carried out by both parties. Royal author Craig Brown told People that Anthony wasn't faithful to Margaret from the beginning of their relationship, even going so far as to lament marrying her in case it meant he would have to give up his many girlfriends. As Brown put it, there was so much he would have to give up, not least his other girlfriends, one of whom confided to a friend that Tony had wept on her bare breasts at the prospect of getting married to royalty. Margaret also had affairs of her own. She met Roddy Llewellyn, who was 17 years her junior, toward the end of her marriage and began a relationship that would last 8 years. Helena Bonham Carter, who played Princess Margaret on The Crown, told the Sunday Times that Llewellyn was happy to discuss what his relationship with Margaret was like. She said, "He said they found each other just at the right time. They were both very lost, both felt somewhat outsiders, just not quite accepted by the family or not quite good enough." Princess Margaret and Anthony Armstrong-Jones announced their separation in March 1976 after 16 years of marriage.
If we time it right, the announcement of your separation might get lost in the Prime Minister's resignation.
The separation was novel for the monarchy at the time, and the official statement delivered via Kensington Palace read, in part, "The Princess will carry out her public duties and functions unaccompanied by Lord Snowdon. There are no plans for divorce proceedings." Kensington Palace confirmed that Margaret and Anthony intended to divorce in a second statement that was issued in 1978. Margaret's spokesperson explained, "The marriage has broken down and the couple have lived apart for 2 years. These are obviously the grounds for divorce." The divorce was finalised in July 1978. Theirs was the first royal marriage in Queen Elizabeth II's immediate family that had ended in divorce since the reign of King Henry VIII in 1540. Despite their divorce, Princess Margaret and Anthony Armstrong-Jones remained exceptionally close friends for the rest of Margaret's life. In fact, Anthony stayed close to the entire royal family after his divorce and was still asked to take photos of several members of the family through the years. Anthony, who had polio as a child and walked with a limp for the rest of his life, was also able to use his royal connections to advocate for the physically disabled. He established the Earl of Snowdon Award Scheme, a fund that took the money he made from the royal family as a photographer to support disabled students, according to Town & Country. While Margaret never remarried, Anthony married Lucy Lindsay Hogg in 1978. They were married until 2000, when it came out that Armstrong-Jones had conceived a child with another woman.